Hey, what's going on? See if I can actually hear myself. See if we can actually see anything. Let's go ahead and switch this over. And give me, a couple seconds to make sure this actually works. Because that would be a first. Alright, so it looks like we are good to go. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some Forza Motorsport 7. And I'm going to need you to keep in mind, I have not played this game in almost as long as I have uploaded a video. So, we're going to be notably bad, but what else is new? So we're going to start, I guess I'm just going to start with this Principles of Speed one. Because collisions are turned off, it's limited. We'll give a couple runs in that and then switch over to S-Class. This will be kind of my warm-up because I can't, run people off the road. So that's a step in the right direction. And hopefully we can get a little better at the game throughout this little time here. So I'm back. I'm not dead. That's a step in the right direction. The virus didn't get me. And that is our first checkpoint. And then I have mentioned the coronavirus now because you can't watch anything, even obscure YouTubers, without it coming up. But now that my classes have all switched to online, our spring break just kind of wrapped up, and it's weird because I was just watching a bunch of lectures, keeping up on a bunch of syllabi earlier today, and it was weird because I feel like I should be, obviously going somewhere. And it saves so much. I hate online classes in general, right? I've taken online classes before. I'm aware that that is a thing that people do. And, even at my school, you can take plenty of online classes. But most of the tests are in person. And on top of that, I try to avoid taking them because I don't like online classes as a premise, just because I feel like not going to class creates it really blurs the lines between being in class. It's so much easier to fall behind on stuff when you're not literally sitting down in a classroom at 8 a.m. Although my class tomorrow morning actually does make me quote unquote go to class at 8 a.m., which is ridiculous. But still, it's strange, but the byproduct of that is I save so much time. I don't live far from campus, but I live far enough from campus that it takes so much. Between going there and going back, and I have gaps between all my classes, so I end up spending a lot of time on campus. And this is just I'm gonna be home so much more than I ever have. Wow, that was an amazing practice session. I'm really glad I tried. No, but yeah, I mean, I don't think I realized, I knew it took a lot of time to go back and forth, and I knew I wasted a lot of time just hanging around with people on campus. But, I feel like this day is just so much longer than any other Monday I've had in, weeks now. With the exception of spring break, because spring break was just great, just hanging around and stuff, but it's weird, and I can't go to the gym because the gym's closed, so I can exercise here to some extent, but even that I save so much time by not driving to the gym. So it's basically just going to work, and the rest of the time I'm just in my house, which people are complaining about, but for me, I'm pretty good with being home alone. I can definitely find enough stuff to do to entertain myself without having to go out. Granted, I like people and I like the people I like, but I'm also very very comfortable just sort of hanging around by myself. So yeah, it's gonna be weird. It feels like the semester should be over because it just, because of the way spring break matched up with the shutdown of all of the schools, it feels like this semester's over. And of course it's not. It's only like halfway done, so now I gotta like get back into the whole groove of actually doing schoolwork. But it's so much different. It's weird. I mean, granted, like I haven't gotten that far into it. Like it could, I don't know, it could work out in the long run. But yeah, I mean, first impressions, a fan of not wasting time driving back and forth, wasting gas, dealing with parking. That's a bonus. Not a fan of watching lectures online. I get like super distracted trying to watch a 50-minute lecture or like an hour and a half lecture. Like, either I will drift away from the lecture and start thinking about something else, or I'll just fall asleep. I mean, I can fall asleep basically anywhere doing just. I feel like the Audi is really like it's a whole class lower than us, isn't it? Maybe I'll actually have a chance of like beating somebody if I just don't run into a wall. Anyway, my original point. What was my original point? Yeah, like trying to pay attention to the lecture, like I'll literally fall asleep or like get close to it. I'll get like halfway through a lecture and realize I have no idea what's going on. Like I'm taking a geography class and I don't know anything about geography. So I actually kind of... Oh, I was forgetting there wasn't a collision. I don't know anything about geography, so I actually kind of have to pay attention and, like, you know, learn geography through the lecture. And that was not going well this morning. Like, I woke up early because I'm like, alright, well, if I'm going to do this, I need the whole... Like, I can't sleep till noon and still get all my schoolwork done. Like, just because it's online doesn't mean it doesn't take time. So I, like, woke up at 8 a.m., rolled out of bed, had some breakfast, started watching the lecture, and it was not happening. Like, granted, I can go to class and still not pay that much attention, right? But at least, like, I purposely sit up front so the teacher can see me, and obviously, like, I can see them as an advantage, but mainly because they can see me, and I'll feel really bad if I just fall asleep in the middle of their class. Like, if I was a teacher, I would not take kindly to somebody just completely drifting off in the middle of my class. So by being up front, it holds me accountable. First of all, they get to know who you are. Like, even in a big lecture hall, if you're in the first couple rows, they see your face, right? So, like, they notice... I don't know that they notice if you're not there necessarily, but they notice when, like, if you're late and you waddle in, like... if you waddle in 5 minutes late and, like, disrupt the whole front row, like, they're gonna notice, so you have that incentive not to be late. And also, like, yeah, if you don't pay attention, like, if you're on your phone or if you're half asleep, like, it's gonna look bad. So, you know, those kind of, like, the big takeaway is, and the thing, I mean, that I knew, and the reason I hadn't taken online classes as a general rule, is there's just a lot of accountability in it. Like, your ability to be disciplined and keep up on the schoolwork is, like, everything. Because, I mean, nobody is going to tell you what to do. I mean, granted, that was definitely cutting the track. Granted, like, there are definitely emails and stuff like that, but again, I mean, I've gotten 50 some odd emails from my classes over the last, like, 2 weeks. The stuff gets lost in there. I mean, you have to be, like, you have to pay attention. You have to keep up on assignments. You have to keep up on schedules. Like, it's interesting. And now with tests and everything, like, there's certain classes at my school that you have to take online just because, like, everybody in the particular major has to take it. So it's just a huge undertaking to have, like, 6 people to teach all of the students. So instead they just do, like, 450 people in one online class, and then, you know, the tests are split between 2 or 3 rooms depending on how many people they need to, you know, cram in there. So that was sort of, it was like online, but the lecture or the tests were in person because it was so much harder to, like, police cheating on an online test. The exception was I took a statistics class that was online, and you had to do it with a proctor, which was weird. Oh lord. Like, it's weird that you install a program, like, if you haven't done it, you install a program, they can, like, take control of your computer and watch what you're doing. They can see you through your webcam and hear you, so, like, they know if you're cheating, and they can see if you open a bunch of other programs on your computer. I mean, that's, like, that works pretty well. I haven't, not like I've really tried to cheat, but, like, I'm sure it's hard. And then, but, like, there's only so many proctors, and now that, like, most of the country is online, surely they can't do that for all of the tests. So, like, every class is trying to come up with ways to get people, like, not to cheat on their online tests, because, like, if you just do it on the course website, you can just look up the answers, right? So one of my classes is, like, having you install a separate browser that's supposed to watch you through your webcam and doesn't allow you to, like, open other applications or something like that. And then another class is just giving up, basically, and they're having, like, lecture quizzes every week. They just canceled the second midterm and the final, and now you're just going to take quizzes every week about what she taught in class. And it's like, if you get an average of 90 or higher on those quizzes, you get an A. So she made the class super easy in theory, just because they couldn't come up with a way to not get people to cheat, or at least they didn't want to make it, like, ridiculously hard. Because that's the other thing, is, like, a couple of my classes are doing open notes. So it's timed open notes. What that means is they have to make the test itself a lot harder. Because you can't, you know, the school doesn't want them to just make the whole class super easy, because they don't want this to just be like a cheat semester for people, which is fair. But you also don't want to make it... What is that? Oh, please don't do that. There. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, in theory, there's a lot of people that are taking online classes for the first time, and a lot of schools that are having to teach online classes for the first time, at least at this scale. So, I mean, that was a long, like, that was like a 10-minute discussion about classes with no other people responding. But it changes, like, at least everything about the way the next, 7 weeks or whatever is going to work for me. Because it just, like, it requires you, it gives you so much flexibility, but at the same time, it holds you so much more accountable. Like, the way you use your time is up to you, but if you don't use it right, it's going to show. Right? Like, if you don't watch any of the lectures and you just try to take this open notes test and hope for the best, it's probably not going to end well. Like, granted, it might. I mean, I don't know. I know at my last school, I took classes online that, basically just gave you the answers to the online tests. Like, you had your slides and your notes and whatever, and they really didn't care as long as you got through it. I mean, they just wanted people to pass the class. So there might be some of that. I mean, teachers don't want people failing because everything shifted to online, but I don't know. It's weird. On the bright side, aside from, pandemics and impending sadness from online classes, I actually won a race. Granted, it was only 2 people. And I have no idea if these people are actually anywhere decent at this game, but we can hope. I mean, in theory, they're even cars, so I did something. I didn't crash. I didn't explode. This is the same track, isn't it? Yeah. So that's a step in the right direction. Maybe I'll do this race, and then maybe we'll hop into a normal hopper, because this is sort of, not super interesting. because A, like, everybody's a ghost, and B, there's only 3 of us. I expect the first, um, like, option online, the first set of hoppers to be, like, pretty full, but apparently not. I was thinking about it the other day, though. I mean, this game is very old. Like, in the world of video games, I think we've hit a point, and I know there's, like, a million video games coming out every year, and, like, there are people that play. Oh Lord, okay, that was not so hot. There's people that play everything and anything and jump from title to title every couple weeks when something new comes out. But I do think it's remarkable the longevity of some of these games, because like yesterday I was playing some Forza and I was playing some GTA 5, and it's just like those games are so old. I mean, particularly GTA 5, right? 2013 is like an eternity in tech and in video games. Obviously, it's not the same game. Like, the way GTA Online was when it launched and the way it is now is completely different. I mean, like, the not only the stuff available, the stuff you can buy, but, like, the ways you make money, and even the map to some extent is different because there's, like, a whole bunch of different points of interest and stuff like that. But also, like, even this game is remarkably similar to how it was in it's 2016 or 2017, right, when this came out. It's very similar, like the way the mechanics work and the way the cars available. Like, there's new cars. There's still packs and stuff, but you have to buy the new cars, so like a lot of people don't. And a lot of, the popular cars and the competitive cars are still the original set that came out with the game. And I'm still bad. No, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and these are two of the more popularly streamed games. And if you throw Minecraft in there, obviously Minecraft, I think, what was it, 2011 is what it's like listed as being released. That's been around for a while. Of course, that's a completely different game than it was, and that's really what it is it's the the way games can be updated now. The way that you can get, and it's, to be fair, it's not an entirely new thing. I mean, World of Warcraft has existed for an eternity. And that's all updates. Same with iRacing. iRacing's been around for years, and that's been updated over the years. And now, I mean, man, NASCAR drivers using it. I gotta watch that. I feel like that would be a hilarious thing to watch, because I guess they had NASCAR drivers race in iRacing this past weekend, just because the NASCAR races are canceled. I don't think I've ever played iRacing. It was such a huge, like, I might have played it as like a free trial or something. I don't really know though. I've never really had like a computer that would be good enough to run it. And it's like there's a lot of time it takes to actually get good at that game. Of course there is with Forza too, and I'm not, but it's like, it's more accessible. But yeah, I mean, like, between those games, even like, Fortnite is not new anymore. Like, it used to be the popular games were the newest Call of Duty, and that was every year. Why is it all Dubai? Is Dubai the only track in this hopper? It might be. That's possible. I hope not, but I'm gonna leave anyway. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Like, I remember somebody last year I saw on Twitter was talking about it. And it was like the top 5 streamed games at the time were like more than a year old or something, which is crazy. I mean, like, that didn't. I don't know. I feel like that didn't used to be the way it was. I mean, granted, like, Twitch has only been around for so long, but Twitch is a good indicator of like a game's popularity. And I feel like, a few years back, the people that were playing, Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, they were playing new games, right? And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like this much better because I'd rather, I spent, I didn't even buy GTA full price, but like $120 for these two games, this and GTA 5. And they've lasted for however many years and are still like playable. There's still people online. Granted, there's a lot less people playing this game, as you can see by the fact that I've been put in two uh, hoppers with 3 people. But um, there's still like, it's a Monday night, whatever. Like there are definitely times where you can play this game and you'll get in a full hopper depending on like the class you pick and stuff like that. And it's cool. I mean, granted, like this game is probably due for an update. Like it, in theory, it should have been updated last fall, and wasn't for whatever reason. I think six would have been a better one to stop on because six was a better game as far as I'm concerned. Um, this game in particular is kind of weird, like the way the car collection thing works. I think I complained about this before, um, but I'm not a huge fan of it. And obviously, like graphics and stuff like that, with simulation style games, like realistic graphics, realistic looking scenery and stuff like that, can always be better. So a good update here and there is not a bad thing. I like the 2 years release schedule. Is kind of nice for games like this. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'd rather see people update games, and you get a lot more for your money that way. Like GTA 5, I mean, I don't think anybody's complaining that they didn't get their money's worth out of GTA 5. Um, Red Dead Redemption 2, super popular. And again, I mean, you bought that game knowing that you were going to be able to play it for years on end, um, without it being out of date, which is kind of cool. I mean, you know, GTA 5 has made it through GTA 5 has basically made it through an entire console life cycle and then some, because it was out before these current consoles and it will be out after they come, now that they're being replaced. So, that's a bonus. I would rather rebuy games when I buy a console than buy them every year. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess DLC is a magical thing, right? The fact that you can get people to pay for a game that they already own just to add stuff on, I mean, that's a pretty good deal. It's probably a lot less labor intensive to add DLC than to completely remake a game. I mean, not that, like, Call of Duty was ever completely remade, because I'm sure they use a lot of the same, like, pieces from the previous games, but still, it's, it's a big undertaking to come up with a whole new game when you could just, add some skins here and there, add a couple new cars here and there. I mean, I'm sure Rockstar is still paying a lot of money for development on, like, the new updates, but considering they can get people, still 7 years later to buy shark cards every time an update comes out, that's a pretty good deal. Like, I could definitely get behind that. Like, everybody wins. Oh lord, except me, because I can't stay on the track. Um, oh man, I feel like I haven't raced on this track all that much. Like, there are tracks that I kind of can figure out, like I know what's coming up. This one, I'm super confused. Like, I'm just following the lead. It doesn't help that it's night. I mean, obviously, like, I've raced on this track before, but this configuration feels odd. Granted, it probably said what configuration it was at the beginning, but, like, I don't pay that much attention to detail. On an unrelated note, I think the stream actually looks pretty good. At least from what I can tell, on my other monitor, it seems to be coming through alright. I can hear myself, which is strange, but, a good sign nonetheless. So yeah, video-wise, it's been, I just realized a couple days ago that it's been like 6 months since I posted a video, which is kind of ridiculous. I don't think it's the first 6 months gap I've taken. I watched back one of my update videos. I think it was like a full year ago, maybe more. It was one of like the yearly. Yeah, no, it was probably a couple years ago now, because I think it was one of the yearly update videos, and I don't think I made a yearly update video last May. Um, but it was going on about how I was like gonna post 2 videos a week, and I wasn't gonna stop, and it was gonna be great. And now I'm just here like, oh lord, driving into walls and not posting anything. So as 2020 goes, life sucks, and I am bad at keeping to schedules now. But like with work and class and all that, the videos just kind of always get pushed aside, which I really have to stop doing, because I would say I care more about this than I do a lot of the things that it gets pushed aside for. The difference is this doesn't have, like, there's nobody yelling at me when I don't get this done. Like, if I don't do homework for a class, somebody's gonna complain, right? I mean, maybe not, but like they're gonna give me a grade that I'm not gonna like. Or if I don't show up to work or don't actually work when I'm at work, they're gonna be like, hey, you should probably like actually put in some effort here. But yeah, I mean, I gotta get better at it. Like, even if it's just live streams like this, I mean, granted, this is probably not the most riveting thing you've seen all day, but it's good practice for me, and it's a good time. If we actually got some people in here, and could kind of hang out and chat, learn something about the game, hopefully entertain some people, I mean, that'd be a pretty good deal. And the only way to actually get viewers is to consistently make content. I mean, like, you can look at, I mean, you can't, but like, well, you kind of can. You can look at my analytics over the last, it'll be 4 years in May that I've been quote unquote making videos, right? Granted, there are, like I said, at least a couple of 6 months gaps in there. So like the first year was solid. I think the first year and a half were solid. And then it sort of drifted away. Look, we got a 4th person. See, it's coming along nicely. No, but yeah, like, it was consistent for a while, and we gained a lot of ground. I mean, if you, like, in all the videos I've watched about, growing a channel and getting good at YouTube in general, the key is to get off the ground. Like, the first 100 subscribers is going to be the hardest 100 subscribers you'll ever get. The first 1,000 is going to be, like, the hardest 1,000 you ever get. And I did that hard work, and then I just sort of, stopped, which was such a waste of all of that effort. I mean, like, in theory, if you listen to, all of the quote-unquote experts online, we're over the hump, and we should be able to sort of pick up speed. And I just didn't capitalize on that. I mean, granted, like, there's still views rolling in. Like, surprisingly, the average, like, views over 48 hours hasn't really trickled off that much since I was actually making videos. Like, I'm still getting views. Granted, they're on, oh lord, look, he's got the same car. That means I'm original. Oh lord, sorry, dude, I didn't mean it. Yeah, granted, they're on like 5 videos or something that most of my views in a month come from. Like, I think my Forester review, or the walkthrough, has gotten like a huge chunk of my monthly views, along with a couple of other videos. I mean, for a while, like, the DirecTV video that's on my channel got like the like hefty majority of the views in a month on my channel. I think it's slowed down quite a bit now, because it's just like wildly out of date and very old. But still, I mean, people are watching videos of mine that are from years ago, and from all accounts are pretty awful. I mean, I don't happen to think the stuff I'm making now is like remarkable compared to other people on the platform. But I mean, it's miles better than some of the original videos. I mean, that DirecTV video is not good. Like, it's not even. I was thinking about it. It's probably a year ago now. Um, Looking back on some of those original videos, and they're not even really reviews. Like, I talk about the app, yes, but it's really just a walkthrough. I mean, I give a score, I guess, at the end of most of them, at least the early ones. But other than that, I mean, I don't really talk about if you should like it or if you should buy it, even in the product reviews. I mean, I talk about like the characteristics of it, I guess. I mean, the product videos were probably more reviews than the app videos. The app videos were more walkthroughs, which I mean is fair, because a lot of times with apps, all you need is like to see how it works in person. You don't really need my opinion, but like if I'm gonna call it a review, I should probably, oh lord, I should probably review it, you know. So that's kind of weird. I think my content has definitely gotten better, at least production quality wise. I mean, like the camera I use now is a lot better than the original one. The microphone is a lot better. Um, the software I use, oh lord, like the original videos I made were made on my phone in iMovie, along with a couple of other apps to like overlay text and make animations and stuff like that. That took an eternity. And that's what's weird, honestly, is I mean, it's all like a situational thing. Like the reason I'm so far behind on making videos now is because of school and because of work. And at the time I was working less and I wasn't in school when I started the channel. Because it was like, it was over the summer, I hadn't started college yet, and I just had so much more time, I guess, because it took way more time to make those videos. Like, as bad as they were, it took hours. Like, not only adding text and overlays, like the timing was obnoxious, but even just cutting videos together, oh lord, um, was so much worse. Like, took so much more time just because the phone would slow down. Like, if it didn't crash, it would slow so far down, because I was trying to edit, like, you know, fairly high quality videos. Like, they were 1080p, they were, you know, they looked good enough, and they had overlays and stuff like that on them, so they, like, it took a bit of power for as far as a phone was concerned. And yeah, that was a mess. I mean, those videos took forever, and then to upload them, because I didn't have the laptop I have now, I had to use my desktop, which means I had to like get it from my phone to the desktop. So I like uploaded them to Google Drive, which my internet was trash, so that took forever. And then I had to upload them from the desktop, and it was a mess. Um, and I mean, now I wouldn't even have to do quite the same way, because you can edit more on the phone. Like, it used to be you couldn't add a thumbnail if you uploaded from your phone. So like, I wasn't gonna do that. I had to upload from an actual desktop browser. So that, I don't know, it it was a mess basically. And now it's so much easier. Like, I can throw videos together in no time comparatively. But at the same time, I don't want to make awful videos. Like, I can make gaming videos in so much less time than I can make review videos, but I don't want to just make what's easier to make, right? Like, I want to make valuable content, you know? Because again, like, people can tell if you put in no effort, right? So like, the audience I've built, although, you know, most of my views still come from search and from suggestions, I still want to honor what the people that subscribe to the channel subscribed for, and that's generally tech content, right? So like, I want to continue to do that. I don't want to just, you know, distance myself from that because it's so much easier to do something else. So, you know, I think it's a balance. Like, obviously, live streams are, you know, the least time commitment, so I can do this regularly. And then, you know, I can put together gaming videos, hopefully make them interesting, assuming I have something I actually want to cover, and assuming I have quality gameplay that I can put out. I can do that. I also, like, at the moment, I have a bunch of videos filmed, and I just need to edit them, which is, wow, I'm about to get lapped, aren't I? which, from all accounts, is the easier of the, the two ends. I enjoy editing stuff more than I enjoy filming as a general rule because I'm not like, a non-camera kind of person as a general rule, right? I really would like to not get lapped. I have one lap here to try to stay. Okay, well, I guess he's not gonna lap me because he's done now. Although it probably wouldn't be the first time a computer piloted car passed me. They're pretty fast because I think they like try to keep a race pace for it to not get in the way, and it's debatable whether I keep a race pace. So might get lapped. It as much as it would hurt my ego, it's possible. No, I think we're good. Oh lord, maybe not. If we end up in the wall, we'll definitely get lapped. Yeah. So, I have learned my lesson about promising I'm going to post more content, but I'm hoping now that I have more time, being that I don't spend hours driving back and forth and waiting in between classes and stuff like that, I can be a lot more efficient with my time and actually try to upload some videos because I like to get the stuff I have filmed at least out because of course it doesn't exactly get any more relevant as it sits on my hard drive. So if you see videos in the not too distant future that look like they're from the fall, I can't confirm or deny why that is, but I think you can get the hint of why that is. But I do actually have some interesting videos. I think they're definitely higher quality than a lot of my past videos, and I think they're on interesting topics. What I really want to do, and again, like time-wise, probably one of the more time-intensive things is to make more lifestyle content. And I know that's, what everybody slowly transitions towards because it has so many benefits for, like, the actual creator. But, I mean, I think I can make valuable content that I can also really enjoy making. I mean, it's not that I don't enjoy doing any of this stuff. Like, obviously, this is, like, I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't something I was interested in. But the idea of being able to, travel or to do interesting things and also, share that with people and make the most out of that experience is really appealing. But of course, that requires the time to not only do it, but also learn a completely new sort of style of putting together videos. Because, like, you get in a groove of editing videos. I mean, obviously, like, by the, 70th or whatever app review I made, I had a system down. And, same with these gaming videos. Like, the more I make, the easier that sort of, oh lord, system becomes. So, there's a learning curve to it. And obviously, like, the initial videos might not be as good, but that's it's part of the process. Also, I mean, part of the challenge, given my current like size and my current audience, is that there's not a lot of feedback. I mean, like, technically there are people that have signed up to see new videos, but that doesn't mean that everybody is engaged, right? So, like, getting people to respond and let me know what kind of stuff they want to see, what kind of stuff people are interested in, and if I'm going in the right direction, even just particular styles in particular videos. I mean, if there's something about the content I'm making that isn't working or isn't appealing to a group, that's good to know. But that sort of feedback comes with a larger audience and a more engaged audience. I mean, it's hard to keep an audience engaged when you don't post content for months on end, right? So, like, I get that. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this entire live stream has been me complaining about one thing or another, but it's really like it's all on me, right? Like not making videos is my fault, right? Like obviously there are circumstances that make it a challenge, but like I mean, people do more impressive things all the time than juggle work, school, and making content, right? Like that's a normal thing people do. Same with like online classes. I mean, yes, they might be hard, but they're still not like that hard. I mean, the type of classes I'm taking is not as ridiculously hard as somebody that's going to like law school or medical school where, you know, even without working, like just the class load is ridiculous. So, oh lord. Um and, you know, there's also people that know how to actually win races in this game, which is also not me. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a stretch to say 2019 or oh, it's a stretch to say 2020 is going to be the best year ever. Given the whole pandemic thing and like, you know, just being an election year kind of always sucks. Um, but still, I mean, there's good that can come out of it, and I think capitalizing on the fact that we're all locked inside is a very, you know, noble goal for the rest of the year. So I'm gonna try to make the most out of my time. Try to at least, um, you know, do my best to continue to sort of work on this channel we've got, because I think, you know, it's if nothing else, it shows my appreciation for all the people that have subscribed and watched the videos if I continue to give my all in making them. And look, I mean, like, I should definitely be able to beat the guy that is currently spinning off the track, but evidently I'm not that good. Oh, never mind, he's behind me. He's just... Oh god, I can't tell if he's trying to... Yeah, he's definitely trying to drift. I thought he was just like... Why is he in this lobby? Is there drifting in Forza 7? I built a drift car in Forza 4, and I got like halfway decent at it. And I mean like halfway decent in the sense like I'm halfway decent at driving right now. Like I haven't completely wrecked the car yet. It was really fun though. Like the tuning itself, like tuning a drift car takes a long time. Tuning anything in this game takes a really long time. You'll notice all the cars I drive are tuned by other people. Because again, you know, time investment wise, I don't want to put in the hours it takes to tune one of these cars to the level where, you know, this one is tuned right now. But yeah, I mean, drifting is super cool, and that's part of what I really like about the Motorsport series as opposed to Horizon, is there's such a... Oh, no. Oh, we're in the grass. There's such a nice variety and stuff you can do. I mean, you can race road courses like this. You can do circuit racing. You can do drag racing and drifting. Again, I don't really know what modes there are in Forza 7. I don't remember off the top of my head. I feel like there isn't as many as there were in Forza 4. I know there's still like tag and virus, I think is the name of it. Because there's tag when you want to... no, I feel like those are the same thing. I don't remember what there is. Is there soccer in this? There's definitely car soccer in one of the Forza Motorsport games. But, like, building different cars for different things. Like, I had a... I played way too much Forza 4. In case you're wondering. That was when I first got an Xbox 360, because I was really late to that bandwagon as well. And I played, like, so much Forza 4. Like, I had, obviously, like, regular hopper cars like these for racing. I wasn't very good at first, so I built, like, a lot of really heavy grip cars. Like, I had a Nissan GTR and an R8 that were, like, super planted. Not super fast, but, like, I could make it around the track. And then I also built... I think the drift car I had was like an early 2000, late 90s, early 2000s Mustang, and then I had a El Camino for my drag car, which was not the best choice, but I really like El Caminos, so I just decided like I'd figure it out. Like I picked those cars in particular because they were kind of close to what you should have for for that kind of thing. Like obviously muscle cars are sort of a staple in drag racing. So that kind of worked out pretty well. But yeah, I mean, like those I all tuned I tuned all of those myself, and that was like it took so much time, but doing it yourself for yourself, you get like a much better feel for the car. Like you can actually adjust like small things and feel the differences. Like it not only takes a long time to adjust it because you have to go back and forth, but it takes a long time to really understand what each adjustment does, right? Like to properly tune a car, you have to be able to feel really minute details in the handling of your car. To be able to get the most out of it, right? Like you have to be able to test drive a car and then from there be able to understand what you need to change, which is a real skill. I mean, the people that tune cars in this game, it's impressive. I mean, like that's the big takeaway. And the thing that's the most frustrating about being in school and how much time that takes is I feel like I don't have time to get good at the stuff that I like to do, right? Like this game, I love this game. I love racing games in general, and Forza's just sort of been the one I've gravitated towards because I really liked Forza 4, and I really like the Horizon series, and ever since this has just been like the racing game of choice for me. But I know I'm not very good at. Look, we actually got people in the lobby though. On the bright side, I know I'm not very good at it, right? Like I don't know how to tune the cars to my liking, and I don't know how to really race in a way that I'm consistent and competitive. Um, and the same can be said for Pokemon Go. I mean, you wouldn't think of Pokemon Go as being the most competitive thing, but like I really like the game, and there is a ridiculous scene of people in the game, particularly with PvP and raiding and collecting. Um, there are people in each of those categories that are so ridiculously good at it and that can invest so much time into doing well at it. I mean, watching people like Brandon Tan and like King that are so excellent at the game itself. Like they know the ins and outs of the game, and they've invested the time to know how to be super competitive, and it's just so much more fun when you're good at it, right? Like everything in life is better when you're good at it. Like being competitive, I mean, this game, if I could race with truly excellent people and even just be at the top of these normal hoppers on a consistent basis and really get tight with people, really like race close and be in the hunt in every race, it makes it so much more interesting. I mean, it's so discouraging to just crash or to be in last or like feel like you're just nowhere in the league of the people you're racing with. Like that. Like it was going so well and then it just all at once did not go well. Please don't wreck people. Yeah, but it's a challenge, Getting good at stuff takes time, and there's only so much time. Oh Lord. I mean, granted, you don't have to be good to not do that. Like that was just notably bad. But yeah, I mean, and of course, this is just, video games, but the same can be said for all sorts of things in life. Like, the time you put into something is what you'll get out of it. Like, there are people that are naturally talented at stuff, like, video games are certainly one of those. Like, if you have really good reflexes and you have a really, you're really good at minute details and in learning about the ins and outs of stuff like this, you're going to have a much easier time getting good at it. But I really do think that, like, practice is the big thing. Like, I can tell just in the time I've put into different games. I mean, like, the difference I saw even just in the few weeks that I played, like, a lot. I think it was Black Ops 3 I put in more than, like, the more time than I usually put into FPS games. And I got much better at it. Like, I could actually be competitive in a lobby, and it was way more fun. Same with Forza 4. Like, I was better at that game than I am at this one now. And I knew so much more about the intricacies of the game, like the cars available, like the types of cars, like basically the meta of the game, right? Like the types of cars that people are competitive with and the strategies that the really competitive people use. And knowing all that makes it a lot more fun, right? Like, not only because you're good, but also just because you understand why people do what they do and, like, what makes people good. And yeah, I mean, it's such a cool time to be to be really good at something and be part of communities like that. Because, of course, now with YouTube and with Reddit and with Twitter and, like, oh god, when you're when you're among the people that really dedicate their time to something like this, you can really feel connected to people in that community. So, like, watching people on YouTube play Pokemon Go, and play Forza, you feel like you learn a lot from watching those people. Granted, like, I tend to gravitate towards, at my level at least, I tend to gravitate towards people that aren't, like, super competitive or more casual into the game. So, like, Pokemon Go wise, I love watching Trainer Tips. Not because he gets, like, super into the meta of the game, but just learning about, like, the game in general and, like, what's happening with the game, what people are feeling about the game, and just how he enjoys the game. Same with even, well, I was gonna say Super GT for this, but he's actually pretty good at the game. Like, he's not the best in the world, but he's pretty solid. But even, like, I used to watch people like Vintage Beef play the game. Play, like, older Forza games. And, of course, he wasn't particularly great at it because it's not something he does on a regular basis. But it's still fun to watch, right? And, like, you still learn from people. Like, learning even if it's learning the things people do that aren't super efficient or aren't super effective, it's all part of the experience. And I don't know. I feel like I've said I don't know an awful lot. But, truthfully, I do not know anything of what I'm saying. No, but, but yeah. Balancing time, and a big part of it is just going to be, like, when I have more time. I mean, in theory, it's not that long until I graduate. It's like, I mean, granted, it's a year, but, like, in the grand scheme of life, it's not that long. And the summer's coming up fast, so I'll have a lot more time then, and I just really have to make the most of it. Obviously, if we're quarantined for the foreseeable future, that makes time management a little easier, because there's nobody else to interfere with stuff. I mean, that's, like, part of it. You gotta prioritize stuff, and it's pretty easy to prioritize stuff when your options are all things you can do while you're locked in your house. Look at that. See, we're making up ground. Please don't run into me. Thank you, sir. Look at that. We're back up into third. Back where I was before. Oh, God. back where I was before I completely drove off the side of the track. So see, if you stick with something for long enough, eventually it will come full circle and you will not be in last. So I feel like I'm doing well enough. I mean, granted, like, I don't know about the caliber of the people I'm racing with. I mean, I guess, yeah, I mean, look, like, a couple of them, most of them are, well, half of them are much more experienced than I am. So, like, that's, well, granted, a bunch of people also didn't finish, so that, that makes it a little easier to be towards the top. But still, I mean, I'm in the top half of, well, no, that guy also didn't finish, but he tried, I think. Um, we're in the top half of people that actually raced. So, I mean, that's something, that's a bonus, right? I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But, it's nice to play the game. It's nice to, I don't know, talk. Hopefully some people listen. I haven't even been paying attention to the actual live stream, except checking this monitor every once in a while to make sure it hasn't, like, stopped working, because I feel like I did that last time I tried to live stream. Like, it tabbed out or something of the screen capture, and we just completely missed a big chunk of gameplay. Just, like, froze. Which is not ideal. But, yeah, I mean, looking at the stream, looks pretty good, I think. I mean, you guys can let me know, because you probably know better on your end, because you're actually, like, paying attention to it in theory. But I think it looks solid. It seems to be working. My internet hasn't given out, so that's a bonus. I've kind of got it set up now where it's a lot easier to do it, because I'm running it. I did some work on my Windows computer, my desktop. So it's actually faster and also a lot cleaner, because I got rid of, like, I basically started over, like, because I switched to an SSD instead of a hard drive. I could not get a software that would move the information on my hard drive over to my SSD and also allow the computer to boot. For whatever reason, I don't know, it's probably my fault, because I know nothing about the inner workings of Windows or file transfers. But look, I'm just handed the lead until this guy, like, drives into me. Look, a bunch of Porsches. Yeah, so for some reason I couldn't get that to work, so I basically started over. I've got, like, a fresh SSD here and also a hard drive. Right now I can boot to both. Oh, please don't kill me. I don't need help crashing. Oh, God. Look, the wing stayed on. It's a miracle. See, tonight's a good night. Tonight is the start of something special. We're not even in last. See, all in all, everything's looking up, right? Like, we hit a low where, like, society is shut down, and I went 6 months without making any content. But now we're on the rebound, right? Like, I don't know that the whole pandemic thing's gonna get a whole lot better, but, like, as we become more accustomed to it, and as we accept our indoor fate, as we all become a little more introverted, life will get better, right? You gotta make use of the good time, and my wing not falling off, that's like the groundhog of this Groundhog's Day. By my wing not falling, I really thought that guy was gonna, like, ruin me, and my wing was just gonna go flying off. That's a sign that everything is getting better in the world. I completely forgot. Oh, yeah, my hard drive. How did that segue? Oh, yeah, I crashed real bad. Luckily damaged. Oh, God. Okay, well, see, can't think about two things at once. I can only focus on my wing. Well, I still drove off the track, but not as bad as them. Look, we're in the top half still. It's good. Life is good. Oh, God. Yeah, so we're basically, like, fresh Windows. I had to set up Streamlabs again, install my browser, and all of that. I've got, like, the Xbox companion app working. I haven't even tried. I wonder, because I don't have a digital version of any of my games. Um, but at some point, I'd like to get the computer to the point where I can actually run Xbox games on it. Because, of course, now with, like, all of the new Xbox games, or at least the ones like Forza that are made by Microsoft, you can run them on your desktop or your console if you buy a digital version. So, like, I should probably do that. I didn't do it with this one because I saved, like, $20 or, like, they always get you that way, right? Like, they released the game, and I don't even know how it worked because I pre-ordered this game, so I don't even know how I ended up getting it cheaper. Or maybe I'm just stupid. I don't remember. I mean, that was 2.5 years ago. Like, you know, who knows? But, yeah. So, like, I got a disc, so, like, I can't use it on the computer. I don't think it could run this, because this is, from all accounts, a pretty intensive game, I imagine. Like, at least graphically, I think my computer is not quite up to snuff. Like, keep in mind, when I say I upgraded the computer, I upgraded it with used parts. So, like, the parts still aren't super great. Like, I can run regular desktop stuff, like Streamlabs and all that, real well. Especially when there's nothing on the computer, right? Like, having a clean hard drive does wonders. And having an SSD is amazing. But yeah, gaming-wise, I think, like, the graphics card I have is what is it? A 10? No. What is it? Like a 1050 Ti? Is that right? I think that's it. It's like a few years old, not super up to date, like a halfway decent graphics card for mid-range computers when it came out, pretty outdated by today's standards. But yeah, I mean, it can, you can run Minecraft. That's all that counts, right? Like, that's that's all I expect a Windows computer to do, is run Chrome, live stream for me, and run Minecraft. That's the important thing. Because, again, like, I'm not going to use the desktop. Like, this is the desktop I bought in 2011. I mean, granted, it's not really at all anymore. Actually, I think everything from that original computer is gone now. Because the case is different, the motherboard's different, the processor's different. It has the same power supply as a computer I bought in 2011. And I haven't used it consistently since 2017 when I bought my MacBook. Because that's like the computer I use. So really, like, the uses for, that's why I didn't put a bunch of money into it, because the uses for the Windows computer are pretty few and far between. Like, this is one of the primary uses for it, is being able to live stream. Which I can do, like, I have done, I think the last live stream I did, well, no, yeah, like, the first couple live streams, I haven't done that many. I think the first couple live streams I did were definitely from the MacBook running Windows. Because I have a flash drive that I have set up that I can use with Boot Camp to run Windows. Which, works out fine. Like, it runs Windows just fine. It can run Streamlabs without any issue. The downside is that I don't have the laptop. So, like, right now the laptop has the, like, YouTube live stream window going for it, right? So, like, I can see if the live stream's working and update, like, the title and all of that, because, like, none of my assets, like the thumbnails and all of that, are not on the Windows computer. Well, I guess they are, because I have, like, Google Drive, but like, the software I use to make the thumbnails and all of that is on the MacBook. So being able to, like, update that information from the computer without having to, like, switch back and forth between Windows and Mac OS is nice. And also it's like a process to switch to Windows, because, like, I usually have stuff open on the MacBook that, like, I don't just want to murder. Like, if I have a bunch of Chrome windows open, I don't want to just murder those to switch to Windows, and then I have, like, this USB stick like dangling out the side of the computer while I use it, and like if I knock the dongle with the USB drive out of the computer while it's running Windows, it dies because that stick is what is supplying it Windows. Why are those the same track? Yeah, man, I am absolutely the king of rambling. But anywho, back to my original point. I don't even know what my original point was. Yeah, content. Gotta make some content. Hopefully, some people will watch the content. So if you see this video, look out for some content. If you're subscribed, please stay subscribed. I enjoy having you around. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I will do my best to actually produce content and try to, grow this community and try to make the most out of the opportunities that you all have given me. So, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Wrap this up. Make sure the live stream actually worked and all of that jazz. And I will hopefully... No. Definitive. You got to be definitive. I will see you all very soon. Thank you all so much for stopping by. And enjoy your quarantine.